I am ready.
Hello, or should I say, can you hear me? Because I think we might be having an audio issue here. I'm not sure though. It might be just my inexperienced streaming. So, Wumbo, my friend, I know you're there. If you're there and you can hear us or not, please comment so we can see if this is working or not. Hopefully, you can hear us. I'm going to keep talking as if we are. And
So I just played it through our thing and it sounded good.
Yep, yeah, it's working. Okay, thanks, Joseph. You're live, by the way, Joseph. We both are. Welcome to the first ever stream of the recently rebranded Hello Reality podcast. That's right.
Woo!
We're no longer the reality friends who have never met in
We're not
reality.
friends anymore.
That's right. That's why we had to change it, because we stopped being friends, but we still have this business relationship. What I was going to say is we actually met in person, and we thought, you know what, this name doesn't work anymore. We want to change it. Let's change it up. We're going to go with Hello Reality. We're going to do a whole rebrand. You and I work in video production, Joseph, so we're going to have some fun with it for this season and future challenge seasons. So if you're new, that's our backstory. Welcome. Joseph, how are you doing as we get ready for the challenge All-Stars 3?
You know, Eric, for a while it felt like you can never have too much of the challenge, but maybe we were having a little too much of the challenge. You know, we were getting all-stars after all-stars mixed with the regular season, but now it's slowed down. I've taken a break from the challenge. We both have, and now it feels nice to have it back, right? Like it feels like we had time to miss it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. We had a nice hiatus. We were like in hibernation. We didn't think about the challenge for a while. We had a lot of things to talk about the finale of All Stars 2. If you didn't listen to that podcast, it's probably our most recent one up. It's kind of like a hate-filled diatribe against production. And all that's gone. It's all gone, Joseph. I feel cleansed. I feel like the weight's off my shoulders. I'm ready to be disappointed anew. Or not. Maybe it's going to be the best season ever. I don't know. I'm hopeful.
Maybe it'll be completely fair. And, you know.
That's what we hope for every time.
Yeah.
And we're continuously let down. But maybe this is the time. Maybe this is it. And you know what we can say for sure about this cast is that it is stacked, dude. Like they brought in some like legit regular challenge people. Like forget bringing in everyone who was born in like 1970s or earlier. Now it's like we got people who are on the challenge proper recently, who are winning the challenge recently. And I think the competition got like raised a huge level.
Yeah, and I feel like to the extent that some of these older
video production guy with no life whatsoever, I've spent way too much time making little videos to introduce everyone in the season and give a little videos, you'll see, to introduce these players and show their stats. And I've picked a few stats and come up with a completely objective way to rank them, and the results are all over the place. Some people you're like, yeah, that makes sense, and other people I think we're going to be like, this is the worst ranking system ever. But by the time I was halfway done, I was like, I'm in too deep. I just got to finish this out. And that's how I've been spending the last week or two of my life. So are you excited to break down this cast, Joseph?
I'm excited. I'm glad that all this work you've done is not going to lay to waste.
Thank you. Yes. Let's think. Before we jump into this, do you, Joseph, or anyone in our chat, my one of my two moms might be in it, or one of your friends, does anyone have any predictions on who you think is ranked first? Men's and women's, two separate lists, and who do you think is ranked last? Joseph, I know you know who's ranked last, so who do you think is ranked first on the men's side, and who do you think is ranked first on the women's side?
On the men's side, it's got to be Jordan, I feel like.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's not.
Yeah. Oh, you would. Oh, look at you.
Why Jordan?
You know, based on you call it objective, I call it arbitrary like criteria for rankings. I feel like Jordan has been on not as many seasons as some other people, and he's also won a lot of seasons, so I feel like his percentage on the seasons won is pretty high. And I feel like he's really good at the dailies. I feel like that's one of the things that he's best at. So
yeah. Well, that makes sense. Okay. I will tell you right now, the stats that I picked out to rank them are how many times they win total, what is their win percentage, so wins divided by total seasons, and that was weighted double. What percentage of seasons do they make the finals? Because like if you make the finals a lot, I think that's indicative of your social game. It's indicative of your ability to survive eliminations. It's a good skill. Then we got daily wins per season played. And this is probably not a good choice because there are some older seasons where I think it was a lot easier to win dailies if it was all like one team versus another. We're going to see how that didn't quite work out. Anyway, the last one is elimination win percentage. And that, again, counts double. Just like challenge season winning percentage counts double. And that's just what I came up with. Those are the ones that I picked. So everything you said like kind of lines up with that so far. Before we dive into it, what about the women's side? Who do you think is number one ranked among the women for All-Stars 3? Take your time. We're not live for anything. We can edit this in post. Veronica. I mean, she's got the most wins, right? So if you're going by that, that would make sense. We'll see, Joseph.
Yeah. And also, she might benefit from that whole old school daily thing that you just were talking about. She might benefit from that.
It's possible. It's totally possible. Before we dive into the rankings, is there anything that you're excited about going into the season? And also, I'll take this opportunity to say, for those of you who are new to our podcast, formerly Reality Friends, now Hello Reality, I am like a recent-ish convert from Survivor, Big Brother, other shows like that. Joseph, out of the two of us, is the MTV/The Challenge historian. So I'm going to be counting on you to help me know who some of these people are this season. I know most of them this time, but there's some that I do not. Is there anyone that's like you're really pumped to see that we haven't seen in a while for any reason like that?
I don't think there's like quite anyone like that on this season. I feel like a lot of these people we've seen like somewhat recently. I guess I'm like Veronica is somebody like I like seeing back, but even she was like on as recent as 30-30, which in the challenge timeline doesn't seem like that long ago, even though it's probably 4 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it does feel like a longer time than it actually is with some of these players. Before we go further, I'd just like to test something out real quick.
What's that?
That's not the comment that I selected, but it's me, Vandy. Thank you for saying you got this. I don't think we do.
Whoa.
But I appreciate your misplaced confidence.
She's like TJ, giving us a vote of confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we need it.
That's right. We do need it right now, too. Again, first live stream, so bear with us. We're going to have some issues, no doubt. That's not the comment I selected to see, unfortunately, for me. You sound fine to me. Yeah, again, not the one I selected. You can't submit comments, and we're going to pick them. And a different comment than the one I pick is going to show up on the screen, perhaps. How exciting.
Yes.
The hair gel people. Okay, this one is the one I did select. All right, so we're hopefully now it works. I don't know. Yes, we are the hair gel people. I mean, I am at least. Thanks, Wumbo. Appreciate it. If you didn't miss it, that was our loading screen. That was something on our loading screen. If you get here early next time, check it out. Okay, we'll save the comment feature for later. Are you ready to get into these players, Joseph?
Yes.
All right, it's about time. If anything sounds off, let me know. Wish me luck as I start clicking buttons, everyone. Let's dive into it with our 12.
Sorry if I'm looking down at my screen a lot. I'm posting an Instagram story about this. I'm almost done, so I'm engaged, Eric.
Okay, great, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm sure whatever Instagram story you're posting is really important. Totally take your time with it.
It's promoting our podcast, buddy.
Oh yeah, mid podcast. That's a good time to do it. I didn't promote it at all. I just didn't do anything. So at least you're doing something. Okay, let's get to the rankings.
Into the list. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's see if this works. Oh, Letarian, number 12.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I mean,
oh no.
I'm going to let this play another time or two. Again, I'm really curious about feedback. If anyone thinks that the videos are good or annoying, if you want to keep it on loop or not, let me know.
And let us know if all the audio sounds good.
Oh, no, you know what? I think the audio sounds really bad. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that a lot of audio was playing at once, and it all started happening. I can see it. I can see it in my OBS thing over here, And if that was really annoying, that sound, I apologize for that. I'm going to try to do this a different way. And let's try this again. Okay, I'm just going to turn the audio off. Hopefully that turned it off. Okay, there you go. And we're back with Letarian. Yet another lesson learned. Joseph, take it away. Save me from my technical incompetence, please. The Letarian deserve this 12th spot in our arbitrary rankings.
If we're going based on career, I feel like, yeah, it's probably actually kind of deserved. Just when you look at the caliber of men he's next to, I'd say like probably the one he's closest to would be like a Cyrus. Cyrus has won a season, right?
He has, yes.
Okay,
as you'll find out very shortly.
Yes. So, it's probably one of those team seasons or whatever. Letarian, I think, like back in the day, it's kind of surprised that he came back as like this badass type of character, right? Because like his stats back in the day were trash. Have not gotten that much better, I don't believe. He's made a final?
He has apparently made a final. Yes, I believe we won for 5, if my math is correct. To your point, Letarian's one of those players who I think really benefits from this All-Stars format. It's like, he wasn't really doing much in his first couple seasons, but he stayed in really good shape, and he's looking really good comparatively in some of these eliminations. I think he even won a mini-final in the first All-Star season. So I feel like the pieces are there for him to really go against this ranking. But the stats are not good.
Yeah.
Stats are not good.
I don't think Letarian's big on strategy either. I think he's more like, these are my people. I'm going to stick with them. These are my friends. Like, I'm playing with honor, integrity type. So he's not going to be masterminding anything. I don't necessarily think that he's, I feel like his strength is the strength stuff, right? Like the brute force, like, and maybe some things outside of that he has more trouble with. But I think ranking him last, with these guys, probably not dead last, but it's also not super unfair, I don't think.
Okay, I wouldn't pick him last if we were drafting, which we are going to do, I think, after this. But stats-wise, that's where he falls. Question, do you want to just go through all the guys in a row, or do you want to go bounce back and forth? 12, 12, 11, 11, 10, 10.
Let's bounce back and forth.
Okay.
Whatever's easier. But
you got it. So we're back over here, and I'm going to press some buttons and then cut back over here to... God, this streaming stuff, man, it's hard. It's harder than it looks. Just everything happens like magic when I watch streamers. It's not that way when you're new. Number 12 women is... Don't hate me if you're seeing this, which she's not.
Oh, my God.
And I'm going to turn the volume down because I got to do that every time. Okay, lesson learned. Next time, just no volume. Outputting with no volume. We'll fix that next time.
It's just Gem.
It's just Gem. Yeah, again, so sorry.
We in the NOLA, baby.
Joseph, same question. Deserved last place or not?
Yeah, probably. Jemmy... I recently saw that somebody said that she made a final. I was surprised. I really had to rack my brain to think when that was. That was Rivals 2 with Camille as her partner. As we know, Camille is one of the best female competitors on the show. So how impressive is that? So I think it was just one of those situations where she got with a good partner and they got third place. And then she got bounced first the very next season on Free Agents. So, So
you want to know a fun side story? Fun side story. Free Agents was my first season, and I remember that first episode where Jemmy lost an elimination, and TJ said something to the effect of like, finalist, someone who made the finals from last season got bounced first. Yeah. Like anything can happen, and I was like, oh, Jemmy, she made the finals last time, and she's already out. Whoa! Come to find out, That shouldn't have surprised me, maybe, as much as TJ made it sound like. Jemmy is someone who I think she's always done a good job of stirring up shit, right?
Right.
Getting drama started, making things messy. But beyond that, like, I don't know if she has the chops to win a final. I don't think she's got the endurance that you need to win a final, especially when there's like 10 people in the finals of All Stars. Which, by the way, she made the final of All Stars season 1 as well. Joseph, fact check.
Oh, okay. Very sorry about that, Jemmy. I also think that like the whole Jemmy is like a huge strategist and all this slightly overrated, you know. So yeah, pretty deserved probably.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't disagree. Don't disagree. Wouldn't bet on her too much to win this one either. Now let's go to our next person, and now I don't think you know who it is, Joseph. Any quick guesses? Quick guesses.
No, Tyler. No, that's wrong. Damn it.
It is wrong. Let's find out. All right, you're gonna hear the audio start again, and here we go.
Oh,
it's. I'm gonna leave it on for a little bit. I wonder how that sounds. All right, if anyone has any feedback on how loud this is or isn't, let me know. I can't really tell. Cyrus coming in at number 11.
Oh no, Cyrus.
Yeah.
Man.
Cyrus, I feel like he always looks like he should be really good at the challenge and usually is not.
I feel like he thinks he's better than he is too.
Think so? Is that mean to say? Like I don't remember too well. Is there anything you're basing this on from challenges past? I only really remember him in the duel.
I just like I don't think he was on the duel.
No, you're right. Gauntlet anyway. Gauntlet 2, I think. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, so he almost fought TJ.
Yes, that's right. And by the way, they cut that from the episode in Paramount Plus. That is no longer part of the episode. Yeah.
What? Lame.
When I was getting the pictures for this little project of mine that again is taking up infinite time, I was going to use that for one of my pictures, but I couldn't find it. It was just not to be seen. I mean,
oh man, if you have not seen that clip, you need to look that up of Cyrus almost fighting TJ. It's pretty amazing.
It is, yeah.
Unfortunately, the elimination was not against TJ. It was against Derek, who's also on this season, who ultimately beat Cyrus in what was an upset. And I feel like that's Cyrus's story on these challenges is he's the overdog who goes into these eliminations and then loses to the underdog. We've had Derek Kaczynski on that season. And then his last season before he rejoined All Stars on the Ruins, where he goes out against Kahada, who just seemed to be taking out all the overdogs that season.
That was fun.
And so that's kind of what he's known for, unfortunately. So when he comes back into All Stars and he's like, has this serious voice of narration being like, oh man, I've been waiting all this time to get back here to battle and all this stuff. Just like, I don't know. He just never came off as that type of competitor to me. So
he's someone who I wish was a little more self-aware. I wish that he didn't have that like gung-ho, I'm gonna beat someone up, I'm gonna crush it, elimination. It's like you're not that guy. You're 1-3 in elimination, Cyrus. Usually against someone a lot smaller than you in like physical eliminations. I don't think he's got that elimination winning potential.
Not to say that there's any shame in losing to those guys. They're both very good competitors. Derek, especially physically, is probably one of the best in that type of elimination. So, but yeah, he's just, we have just not seen the results really.
We have not. No. Pausing it on this last scene, 25%.
One of those elimination wins, I believe, was against Adam King as well. Just wanted to point that out.
You mean his one elimination win? I'm looking at the stats. It's 1-3, Joseph. 1-3.
Which Adam King almost beat him in if you rewatch that elimination.
Which one was that? I have no clue.
They had to like churn this thing of like water and like make sure that it was pouring into their opponent's thing.
Are you talking about the one in the picture right there?
Yes, that very one. Yes.
Oh, Cyrus won that. I'm pretty sure. Am I crazy?
He did, but it was a strength-based challenge that Adam was very close to beating him in. Yes, he was very close.
Oh, you're right. I was getting mixed up. Yep. That is the one he won. Yep, barely. If you could tell, he's kind of dying in that photo right before he wins. So.
Yeah. Adam King, who was probably 30 pounds, 40 pounds lighter than him on that season, I would guess.
That's right.
Even more.
All right. Anyway. Down to number 11. Let's keep powering through these. Next up, who do you think it is out of the girls?
Don't make me do this.
All right. And next up is
Oh!
It's Melinda. No.
Who I am known to be a hater on from her previous season.
Are you? Okay. All right. Well,
yes.
Tell me why. I'm a Melinda impartial.
Not of her personality, obviously. She's very nice, very sweet. I just met in the sense of like, as a competitor, I don't know, I remember telling you that I feel like she was the female equivalent of her partner Danny in their challenge skills department.
Yes.
Based on her previous seasons.
I do recall.
I think there was a crazy stat where she had never made it past episode 6 until entering All Stars. So big turnaround season for her. Having a really cool, inspiring storyline, and also getting to the final, and kind of getting robbed, right?
She got hosed. Yeah. Look, no, Joseph, we gotta stop. We gotta cut ourselves off. We can't devolve into an all-out criticism of the final.
Yes. Melinda might be better than I originally gave her credit, and it might be the effect of she just stayed in shape and everyone else didn't. But she is now a competent competitor on these shows for sure, and a good partner seemingly.
Another person who's benefited from father time, I think, in these All-Star seasons. Look, those stats, they're not great. By the way, for those stats nerds like me who care about this kind of thing, you might notice the tied for 6th in the amount of wins is in red. I organized these from like red to green, worst to best, but a lot of these women didn't win a challenge. Almost every guy did. The only guy who didn't was Letarian, who's ranked last. But a lot of the women have not won a challenge, and so that's why 6 is last place, if you couldn't tell, because you can't do less than 0 wins, Joseph. So that's why these stats are red. They're all pretty bad, except their dailies per season, which, like, who even cares about that? I don't even know why I included that.
The last thing I want to say about Melinda before we get off it is, these stats are great, but sometimes you have to use the eyeball test. And Danny Jameson, based off the eyeball test, is one of the worst competitors the show's ever seen. So maybe that just rubbed off on her back in the day, being her partner and everything. So we'll remove everything with Danny Jameson off her record.
Yeah, and since she has stopped doing challenge seasons with Danny, she's 2-0 in eliminations and has made 1 out of 1 finals. So I think that speaks for itself. Like
the Danny effect.
The curse is gone, and she'll probably win the next season at this rate.
Yes.
All right, next one. Let's go. Let's keep pushing along. We got someone surprising to me based on my own stats. That's right.
Oh my God.
Nehemiah coming in at number 10 on these metrics, which again, like I said, are pretty dumb. They're pretty dumb metrics, but there's like, if you look at those stats, when they come around again, I'll pause it. They're not that great, Joseph.
Yeah. And, Eric came up with these real quick. But also, I don't know if Nehemiah is that good. Like, I feel like some of these eliminations, like the one he went up against Derek last season, I feel like that was really close, and closer than you would think against Derek, who's gone out early in plenty of seasons, not known to be like a great competitor by any means.
Yeah.
Nehemiah's like won a season. I feel like in these physical eliminations, like, who's he going to beat really? Like, if it was, like, just straight up 1v1, like, I don't think he'd beat anyone, really.
Oh, Tech's not on the season, so
he's not on the season.
There goes that option. Yeah.
Maybe he gets lucky against someone like Cyrus and they get gassed or something, but I don't know.
It's weird. Nehemiah looks so great. He's in phenomenal shape, and he's one of the other players who I think is coming into these seasons in great shape relative to the cast, although... Like I said before, this isn't All-Stars 1 anymore. I feel like there are a lot of layups, a lot of freebies in All-Stars 1, and this season really, really not so much, as you can tell by Nehemiah being, ranked 10th. I think in All-Stars 1, he was one of the favorites, like one of the top half competitors at least. Not so on this cast.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's really, the competition level has really notched up to where, like, pretty much all the guys who were originally on All-Stars, except maybe Yes and Mark, and even then, like, we really have to see Yes and Mark against some of these new school guys to really see, like, what they're made out of. But we'll get to them when we get to them.
Big part of last season was the Save the Palace alliance. Tech is not returning. Letarian is. Melinda is. Do you think we're going to see some more Save the Palace in Season 3 of All-Stars?
Maybe a different song. I don't know. Tech's not there to make the song. But, yes, I do think the alliance itself will stay intact. They all seem pretty loyal to each other, but it doesn't seem like that's going to carry any weight really. But maybe it'll be one of those things where they can fly under the radar with it, and it'll get more powerful as the numbers dwindle.
Yeah, I don't think they're coming in with any kind of overwhelming advantage or anything like that, so I wouldn't think people would be too threatened by this hypothetical alliance. They did seem like really close, that's the only thing, so like that might be kind of scary. Mark the Godfather's coming back into this game. You know, he's going to have numbers on his side like he literally always does. I'm curious how it's going to break down. But, and this is bad because I'm on a stream talking about the show right now. I don't feel like I know nearly enough to predict where the numbers are going to fall. I feel like every season it kind of starts anew. Is that just me?
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think there's a lot of times on these seasons where I'm like, wait, weren't these guys friends last season? Like, what's, so yeah, who knows?
All right. Well, just curious. I guess we're just going to have to find out. All right. Are you ready for number 10 on the women's side? Yeah, drum roll. It is. Yeah,
oh,
Nia. This one, she's ranked way too low, I think. If I had to guess how the season's gonna play out.
Yeah, I feel like she probably underperformed on free agents. I believe she lost to Teresa in the physical elimination, or somebody else, maybe actually. It was Cara Maria.
Yeah, I think you got it. And that's the only loss she has, I believe. Let me double check myself right now. I got the stats over here, but I think she's X-1. Yeah, 3-1 in eliminations. So that was it.
And I don't think Cara was like that much of a beast at that point, and Nia obviously had the size on her, so people were kind of like, and then the next season, she does pretty good as with Leroy as her partner in Battle of the X's, and she definitely showed potential. I felt like, though, she had the elimination with Avery where it went on forever, and it was a super physical one. Avery's like half her size, so that's another one where you're like, hey, you should probably win this one way more easily. And then same thing kind of when she does the hall brawl against Teresa. It seemed like Teresa put up a really good fight, and that they only won because Leroy killed Wes in that elimination. So she seems pretty good, but also seems like somebody who's maybe underperformed compared to expectations.
Gotcha. Okay, I wasn't paying attention to any of that. I'm sure whatever you said was great. I would just like to say,
it was great.
Reading the comments. So I thought I was looking at the comments live in my studio. Here, some more behind the scenes stuff. Gonna hear a lot of apologies from me. Apparently they just stopped coming in to the to whatever I have set up over here. I'm seeing all the comments here. I'm hearing that my mic is echoing still quite a lot. Yeah, we're sorry. Joseph messed up in the setup, I think, is all I can say.
Yeah,
Joseph, you want to take
it was definitely my fault.
You had your fingers all over this setup. Gonna have to blame you. No, I don't know why that's happening, but I'll look into it. I'll try to fix it as we go. Sorry about that.
Yeah, let us know if it's unbearable.
Yeah, it's just also, if anyone could comment, if you don't mind, is it just me who's echoing? Is it Joseph who's echoing? Is it both of us? We'll try to figure that out. And in the meantime, let's get back to Nia. I think she's gonna do great. She barely didn't make the finals. She got kicked off. She's in the market for a redemption story. Tell me if I'm saying anything that you already said. And we know she's pretty good in eliminations. She looks like she's in awesome shape. Sleeper pick, Nia.
I actually do think she's a good sleeper pick. Once again, based on the principle of a lot of people have gotten out of shape. She probably, stayed relatively the same. That's good enough.
Yeah, there you go. Sometimes it's all it takes on these challenges. And then you get to the final, and it's like it's anyone's game as long as you can run, right? So,
yeah.
We'll see. All right, next up, 9th ranked guy. And you're just going to get heavy hitter after heavy hitter. It's going to be ridiculous, I think, from this point on, for the most part. Here we go. We got 9th ranked guy. It's the beard. Fear the beard.
Oh my gosh.
Brad, really hurt by his
I knew he was going to be low just based on these arbitrary rankings. But me, I think Brad's like so good at this show. I'm sorry, objective.
Yeah. Why do you think Brad's so good at this show?
I think when you look at the context of the seasons that he was on, 2 individual seasons where he got second place, two of the hardest male casts on both those seasons in the duel 1 and 2, both of which he got second place. Both of which you could say he got robbed in different ways with the soccer challenge heavily favoring soccer player Wes in the final for duel 1, and the whole splitting the money supposedly on the duel 2 between the 3 finalists of the men. It seems like he's always been close. He won a season in Cutthroat. He's had some really impressive elimination wins against people like Landon. I don't care what anyone says about that elimination. I think it was fair game. And yeah, I think Brad is a very impressive competitor. And I think that maybe him coming back actually might have soured people on him, which is kind of weird because I don't even think he's done badly necessarily. But I think that from what I've seen, people like back in the day maybe respected him a little bit more as a pure competitor than they do now.
Yeah, I put that graphic in there for you, Joseph. I knew you were going to be a fan. Brad's flickering. All right, Jesus. Let's pause that.
The one with him in the ring. Yeah,
I just noticed that. I've been looking at comments. Yeah. I got my comments back up. This is great. I'd like to post this one up. Thank you. Your voice is unbearable, but the echo is manageable. That's great. That's good. That's good news. I consider that a win. Yes. I get that for sure. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's stuck like that.
Yeah, if you think my voice is unbearable, you're gonna have to pick a different live stream to watch right now. I'm sorry. Nothing can be done about that. Try to stick around for Joseph if you can, maybe. Not me.
Mine's not great, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and I'm also seeing that Joseph's fine on both screens. Good job, Joseph. I'm echoing when the graphics are up. Okay, so that's helpful. Thank you for sharing that. It's me, Vandy, streamer on Twitch. Shout out to you. If anyone likes horror games, go check out It's Me, Vandy on Twitch. Appreciate it, and again, we'll see if I can suck less going forward. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no promises. Anyway, Brad's pretty good, and he stayed in shape, and he might be in better shape than he was back then, at least from like a pure physical brute standpoint. And so I think he might be one of the top competitors still, though he made some intellectual fumbles last season that were pretty bad. So, hopefully that isn't his undoing again.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. He's really hurt by the win percentage and the number of wins, mostly the win percentage. He's played in a lot of seasons. He's played 10 seasons, only got the 1 win. Stats don't tell the full story. In this case, they tell a misleading story, if anything. He's gotten really close a bunch of times before getting that first win. So, yeah, I could see him being a little bit better than this. But, again, it's hard to put anyone that's above him clearly below him, in my opinion. So,
I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know.
All right.
There's a couple guys I can already think of who I'm like, oh, how disgusting that they're ahead of Brad.
Can't wait to see it. All right. We're going to see if I can do a better job. I'm just going to cut the audio immediately of this little clip as soon as I can. Ready for number 9.
Yeah.
Well, whether or not you like it, here she is. It's Kelly Ann.
Oh, again.
Yeah.
There's someone else who's, I think, way better than probably their stats say. There's another one where I feel like you got to watch the season to know. I actually feel like she didn't do that many seasons, right? Especially when she was younger. I feel like she only really did 2 seasons when she was in her like physical athletic prime.
She's done 5 total. Not sure which. Did she do both All-Stars? I can't even remember. Just one.
No, just one. And she did pretty good on that season. She made the final.
Yep.
Tied with John A, I believe.
Yeah, if there was a guy if there was a man and a woman winning, she would have been the co-winner at least, or like one of the winners. Yeah. We hate that. So should have another win, my opinion.
But she, I thought, was really good on the Ruins, actually. I thought that was a very impressive season for her, even though Evelyn threw that one elimination to her.
Yeah.
But I thought that was an impressive season for her. Her and Sarah almost pulled out the upset against a very stacked team. And yeah, I think Kellyanne was really good. And I think she's still really good now.
I agree. Look, this stats exercise is for fun. They're just having fun. I hate most of the results, right? Dailies per season, like, why do I even count that? I do think the amount of dailies you win, if you could somehow control
I do think that's true.
If you could control for, like, the earlier seasons being, like, one team versus another team, if you could somehow, like, even those numbers out a little bit, I do think it says something. Maybe it should be weighted just a little bit, but, like, you'll see some of these players that win a ton of dailies. I mean, the more dailies you win, the more in control you are, the more safe you are from eliminations. It is relevant. But it's clearly like it's skewing the numbers, I think, a little bit in someone like Kellyanne, who, if she gets to a final, she's going to be a favorite to win it all for sure. And she gets to the finals a lot, as you can see. 40% of the time she plays, she gets to the final 2 out of 5 times. So I would definitely have her ranked higher than 9th for sure.
I think it's a shame that she would never played like an individual season, like in her prime.
That would have been fun.
Yeah,
would have been fun.
Like she should have been on the duel too or something. But anyway. So who's next?
Who's next? Well, you're gonna like this one, I think.
Oh,
turning that volume
that might
down.
Actually be fair. That might actually be fair.
Yeah. We're unbiased fans of Wes on the show, and I think even we should be able to say, Joseph, this is fair. This feels fair to me. I
still think you should be ranked higher than other people because I think like his highest highs, like nobody almost on this cast would be able to replicate. Like some of these seasons that he's had where he's just completely dominated. He has 2 wins on there. You could argue he should have 5 based on certain things that have happened on different.
Wow. Okay.
Battle of the X's 2, Rivals.
War of the Worlds why. 1. For anyone who has not seen those seasons, perhaps, shows why.
Yeah, so Rivals, he is in second place. He comes in second place, but his 45-minute lead from day 1 gets cut to a 5-minute lead on day 2. Very unfair, in my opinion. On Battle of the X's 2, Johnny comes back in the game, totally screws up his strategy of his masterful game. War of the Worlds 1, he did not get screwed, but he did play an amazing strategic game at a very old age and only lost to comparatively and only lost to 2 other competitors who were just athletic beasts, and he still almost won that season too. So I think those were really impressive. And if you want to factor those in, I think that his highest highs, his lowest lows are what makes me think hey, maybe this is kind of fair, because he's had some really bad appearances, some of which have been self-inflicted. So, it is somewhat fair. But like I said, his highest highs, guys like MJ could never do that.
Yeah. So. High highs and low lows. I agree. I'm going to add some stuff on Wes real quick though. Unicarnival saying turning the video audio off doesn't affect the double voice situation. Thank you for letting me know that. When it's paused, if you're still there, if you don't mind commenting and saying if it's paused, does the problem persist? That would be really great. If so, that maybe I'll just pause all the videos immediately from now on. Anyway, back to Wes. You know what was surprising to me? I agree with everything you said, by the way. His elimination win percentage, only 61%. He got off to the hottest start ever. I think he was 8-0 at one point before he got his first loss. Not been so great since then. And 5 of those elimination wins, if you'll remember, were with Casey, where he had a ridiculous advantage in having half the pack weight of everybody else for some random reason. You think these rankings are arbitrary? Wait till you go see that season and look at the rules they had for eliminations.
And 2 of those eliminations too, 2 of the teams forgot their flag, and that was the reason they ultimately lost too. So
the best part,
real stat padding on the eliminations for Wes.
To take a trip down memory lane, the best part was that no one watched the eliminations. They were these long runs, and someone would just come back. So it looked like Wes was this impervious, invulnerable god dragging Casey through elimination after elimination because they knew she wasn't carrying the team. And there was, in reality, all these little things, mostly production-based, some luck-based, that made him have that reputation as the elimination god. And he's really come back down to earth since then. 14-9 is his actual win-loss record.
And I think he might be screwed on this season.
Probably.
Just looking at the cast and thinking about these, a lot of these people I feel want to play with honor and integrity, and they know that Wes does not. So I think that he could be a target.
Yeah.
For sure.
He said he wanted to come into this game and play a really messy game. He doesn't want to play a clean game, wants to play a messy one. I don't think he has a choice in that matter. I think that's going to happen to him no matter what. And as usual, I'm excited to see Wes back on my television screen. Can't wait to see what happens to him. Not the most optimistic that he's going to be able to dodge the eliminations this season, but he looks like he's in great shape.
He looks in shape though. Yep. So he looks like, and Wes, I do think is good at eliminations. Like overall, I think he's really good at them. And he handles pressure really well, I think. So even if people are against him, depending on when they start targeting him, like he could make a run for sure. You know, he's also really good at the dailies too. I think is underrated about him. So sometimes people aren't going to have a choice whether or not he's in power. So there we go. Especially if they have to do with intellect, like I feel like he's, you know, going to win a lot of those.
Joseph, not to be nitpicky, but if you remember the slide, his daily wins per season is only 1.8, actually 10th among his male competitors, which is not that impressive.
You know, stat padding, team wins, all that. You know.
The excuse train for Wes. Why am I not surprised? Yeah, I think it's a fair ranking. Let's move on, though, to the 8th ranked women on the season, a fresh face.
Oh, my God.
And it is...
Who is it?
Kayla.
Whoa.
It's Kayla. Which also feels pretty fair to me.
Mentally, she's a bum.
Who said that about her? I forget.
Little Mama? Was that her name? Chance versus Stars?
Was that... Oh, yeah. Wow. Whoa. Wow. That is
digging deep.
Callback.
Yes, digging deep.
You have such a good memory for these old details about the show. This is why you're here. Thanks.
I hate myself.
Hey, look, it's not a skill I'll put on my resume, but I'm glad you have this skill. Kayla,
somebody needs to. Right?
Great elimination win percentage, for what it's worth. Has not made the finals all that often. 1 for 5, I'm pretty sure. I think I saw 5 seasons there. I know I put this together, but as if I can remember these stats that I looked at 10 seconds ago. She's always someone who I feel like had a lot of hype around her going into her first couple seasons. She's like a gym rat. She looks like she's in awesome shape. Never really quite lived up to the potential that some people saw in her. Can she turn it around on All-Stars 3?
I think she can. I also think that it's become a little overstated how like bad she actually is. I think that there's a thing in the challenge fan community where if they don't like you, there's going to be like, oh, she's overrated or he's overrated, like with Tori. So I think there's a little bit of that with Kayla, that people don't like her, and so they underrate her a little bit. But I think she's good. She's made a final on Dirty 30. I actually think she played a pretty good season there. On Vendettas, she did pretty badly in the final, to be honest. But she did play an impressive game to get there. So.
Yeah, and that was also an unfortunate finals where she made the top two women. There was 2 women, 2 men who made the finals, and then it turned into a puzzle.
There was a lot of very finicky stuff because Nicole got injured and Cam got screwed over by Melissa. And that's
I thought I was going to come in with one fun fact that I happen to know, and you got to go shut me down. Thanks a lot. Okay, whatever.
I already knew people were gonna jump all over us if we didn't point that out about it. So I just figured I'd get it out of the way.
Okay. Anything else on Camilla? Why did I say that? Kayla, not Camilla. Camilla is not on the season.
But I wouldn't be surprised if she does bad again either. So I know I said all that stuff about her, but it could go either way. So
okay,
I guess I have no hot takes either way.
0 hot takes. All right. Well, what about this next guy? Do you have any hot takes on him?
Ooh, Tyler. I think he should be ranked lower for this particular season. I talked about how last season, how I think that like his challenge pedigree at his prime, he might have actually been one of the better people to compete on this show. He just has the total package, can swim great, super physical, very smart. Very socially competent, and I think just now seeing that elimination he did with Laterian last season, I just don't think he's in shape. I just don't think he can, unless he's changed since then and he's done more that I don't know about. I don't love his chances.
Ouch. Yeah. Can't really argue with that though. I could see him winning eliminations. have a hard time seeing him winning a final, but then again, I had a hard time seeing him win that final, the finals that he did win, specifically the one with Johnny Bananas. I never would have guessed that he was going to win that one. I think he's someone who surprises people with his wins. He's won 2 out of his 4 seasons. He hasn't played many seasons of the challenge. Only 4. He's won 2 of them. And that's why he's ranked so highly here, of course. Let's pause it on this slide.
But it's also super impressive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it should rank you higher. Like, I do think that, like, doing few seasons, having a good win percentage, especially when it's like, you know, I don't think he really benefited like other people like Johnny from having a bunch of seasons and going against people who didn't really know the game. I don't think he really benefited in that way as much. I feel like he was going against some prime competitors, and he came out on top in some tough seasons. So.
Yeah. Don't disagree with that at all. I got a couple comments because my comment thing that lets me see the comments, it keeps shutting down and not working, and I don't know why until I noticed that there haven't been any new comments for a while. Restarted that. Just want to shout out a couple things. First of all, Kenny carrying Wes. Yes, we're a few people late. Yes, missed this when we were talking about Wes. Kenny carrying Wes will forever be a favorite mental image. Same. It's me, Vandy. Same.
You know, we love our boy Wes, and you know, we just thought we'd spare him this one time, but
we should have brought it up though. That's on us. We messed up. Thanks for reminding us.
I'm just kidding. We didn't have that much forethought that went into it. We just forgot. But yes.
Also, the
legendary
golf ball sized like goiter or whatever it was that led to that situation. That's another mental image.
Are you looking at my leg?
That was a good impression. Can you make it a little bit whinier though? Like I need to hear like a little more whine in that.
I didn't want to be too loud for the mic for our audience's sake, but yes, maybe next time. Yeah, Tyler's good, but overall, but on this season, it's gonna have some trouble.
Awesome. Unicarnival, thanks again for your help. The voice double has left the building. That's right. I figured out the problem. I was recording my voice twice over. And again, so sorry you have to listen to me. Everyone listening to this right now. I mean, you don't have to. You can leave at any point. But I'm so sorry that you have been subjected to this. And thanks for the help in figuring that out. Joseph, who's next? I'm going to make you guess again because I need to buy a little bit of time.
Okay, great.
Look at the list. Look at the list.
I'm going to say Kendall Darnell. I don't know.
Kendall Darnell. Great choice. But in another more accurate sense, terrible choice because it is not Kendall.
It's like a... Go ahead.
It's Tina.
Man. You know... Can I just talk about how the show's really gotten soft on quitters lately? Like just every show, like across reality TV land. Like she quit the last All Stars. Now they're just like, oh, she's back. Like we don't care anymore. Quitting school.
I am shocked that she's back. Yeah. I'm dumbfounded.
That's early, at least.
If a bunch of seasons have gone by, sure, I guess, you know. This is like bringing Colton back on Survivor Blood versus Water. It just makes no sense to me. She just quit a season. in the sense that it makes no sense to me. Only that sense. Tina's great. She's awesome TV. I know why she's back. She's amazing. She like brought so much to the first few episodes that she was on last season, All Stars 2.
She was hilarious.
But
she was so
quit
funny.
Elimination out of nowhere for like no reason. Like, how can you expect that to not be the same thing that happens again? I don't know. There's so many people that want to be there. I feel like as much as I love having Tina on the TV screen, as funny as she always is, I would rather that spot go to someone else for the quit.
I don't think Tina's going to quit again. She's a challenge legend, great personality. I'm okay with it just because of that. I do see what you're saying. I don't think it's going to happen again. I really don't. If it does, then color me a fool. She's great TV, and she's going to cause drama. And I think it's too tempting to like have Veronica on a season, have Wes on a season, and not have Tina back. I just watched an old interview with Wes from like back in the day with Fresh Meat, and he hated Tina. He did not like her at all. So I feel like this is going to be great. So I'm okay with it only for that reason. I get where they're coming from, but yeah, they have gotten soft on it.
Okay. What about her stats? What do you think this is a fair ranking? How do you think she... Go ahead.
Better than I expected. I mean, she's always obviously been like a political kingpin. Like her, Rachel, and Veronica were just, ruling the game back when it was actually ruled by the women and not so much the men. And now, though, I don't think like the challenges were necessarily her strong suit back then. I don't know if they're going to be now. And I feel like now the show's gotten even more athletic. So I don't necessarily, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really interested. I could see it going both ways because I could see some people wanting to be like, oh, I want to work with Tina. And then other people being like, I want nothing to do with her. I think it could go either way. Like I expected people to be with her last season, and it seemed like they were pretty quick to throw her under the bus. So.
Yeah, she was not in control last season, but she does get Veronica back. I don't know if they're on great terms now. I have no clue. But do you see them reuniting this season?
That's what I was thinking in my head. Like I feel like they would want to do something like that. Maybe take out some of like the alpha males who typically rule the game in a Jordan and a Wes, or maybe even some of the other females who they see as threats. But I could definitely see them working together. I definitely think they're going to take out the big threats because that just seems to always be their thing, especially Veronica. So yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see. I'm optimistic she's back too.
I could see girls like Jemmye being like, I want to work with Tina and Veronica, like just nostalgia reasons and stuff like that. Like I could see that angle as well. So I think it just depends.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to just wait and see about Tina. You know what I wonder about? They do casting interviews, I'm sure. I mean, they've been on the show a million times, but they still must talk with these people. I wonder what she said to convince them that she's not going to quit. Would they call her up and be like, hey, if we bring you back, are you going to quit again or not?
We'll pay you this like, much more money per episode if you stay.
Maybe they've realigned her incentives. That's a really good idea. Maybe that's how it works. Yeah. That would make sense. Okay. Let's keep going. We are finding ways to talk about these people for a long amount of time, and we got to keep it moving as we cross the halfway point. Number 6 guy, it's finally time for MJ. Wouldn't have guessed he'd be ranked this high before last season, but he is coming off a win. As much as he got a little bit of help from production in doing so, still a good season.
Wins the win. Yeah, wins the win. He did do better. Certainly played a good social game in some respects. I think his game's always going to be flawed because it seems like he always wants to go to the end with the males who are going to beat him. Even last season, like we said, there was a couple things that had to go down for Jody and Brad to go out in the way that they did. They kind of got lucky there. Then they obviously got lucky in the final. I think MJ's overrated. I think he's just really big. And so he's obviously going to beat a lot of those guys in those particular eliminations. But as far as like pure athleticism or the other intangibles you need on this show, I don't think he's one of the top males. I think he's probably, this might actually be fair. I don't know.
You have Brad above MJ or
for
not?
Sure.
Brad above MJ. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was my impression going in. I do think he did great last season. But I do think also that he didn't get thrown into eliminations for very good and obvious reasons. A lot of times there was a much clearer threat ahead of him in the pecking order. And I seem to recall a few confessionals like, we've dodged another elimination. It's like, yeah, no shit, you've dodged it. It's because the teams want like Darrell out of here or something. I forget the details, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. There were circumstances beyond their social game that kind of forced people to keep them.
Yeah, but we also see an edited TV show. I don't know how much work they were doing to get out there. I'm sure they were doing great work, especially at the end. It was really the last few eliminations that really seemed to play themselves out. Brad and Jody, that's the pair that everyone wanted out. It's like, yeah, good job. You managed to convince people to put in Brad and Jody, like two Terminators, and not you, into the last elimination before the final. Like, I don't know. It's not actually impressive to me.
Genius strategy. But okay, moving on.
Look at those numbers across the board. 50-50-50. He's right. I mean, 50% win percentage, 50 finals percentage is really good. 50 elimination win rate, not as good, but only 2-2. Not a lot of samples.
And MJ. That's not the fault MJ. That is like a skill that he has. Is that like it's kind of like similar to the CT thing. People just don't want to see them in there. So
yeah. Well, how appropriate as we go to our number 6 ranked women that it is his partner from last season.
Oh my
God. Johnny.
Winner of endurance. Does endurance not count on these? No, it doesn't.
I should have included that. 1 parentheses 2 with an asterisk if you count endurance. She finally got her first win last season. I have mixed feelings about this ranking, but I'll let you start again.
Yeah, I guess we'd have to go through the other women for me to really think about it. But my first thought is she should be higher. Once again, I feel like she has all those things that you kind of need to win. I think she has the mental competency, the endurance. I do think she's going to be bested by some women if she doesn't get rid of them here. I don't think it's going to be like last season where she can just go to the end with anybody and hope that production's going to save her. But who knows? They might. Yeah, I think that there's some more stiff competition, but not that much more. I think she still stands a pretty good chance.
Okay. The thing that gets me again is her elimination win percent. It's bad. She does not do well in eliminations typically. Yeah, get that sunlight out of your face if you can.
Yeah,
it looks annoying.
I feel like she seems panicky as well.
She crushed in that one puzzle against Sarah Rice, and I'll always love her for that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it's like 2 and 5. I want to say. I'll check myself on that. Yeah, that's right. 2 and 5. Not great. So if she does get into elimination at any point, I don't feel great about her chances of winning it. But she has gotten second / first among the women in a first All-Star season, won the last one. She has insane momentum. She's doing something right. So I can't really, I don't know. I don't disagree with this ranking too much. Middle of the pack seems, I guess, about right.
Yep. Agreed.
All right. And next up, we are going on to the 5th ranked guy. It's time for The Godfather.
Oh my God, Mark Long.
Now, this is a real old school player that you know way better than I do, Joseph. Yeah. I'm glad he's back. Infamously, he's the guy who put together All-Stars in the first place. We love him for that. And he has some really impressive stats in a lot of ways. It's kind of insane, actually, when you look at it. I'll pause it next time we go around. Joseph, Mark Long ranked 5th. Reaction, go.
Maybe she should be ranked higher. I think that Mark Long actually might have the best social game out of any guy to do the challenge. I think that he has gotten to the end just by being friends with people.
Yep.
And he's rarely even seen in an elimination. Like there's a reason he has a 50% win because he's probably only done like 2. And like one
you're exactly right.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's done 2 eliminations, one of which was
one of which he threw. One of which he supposedly threw, the one he lost.
Yes.
So to Johnny and Battle of the X's to split the money.
Yeah, so, if you haven't heard that before, let me interject and say, it's basically a confirmed rumor by Mark. I think he alluded to this in a recent All-Stars interview or post-show, whatever, that he made a deal with Johnny who he thought was more likely to win the final, so he threw the elimination. They had some kind of prize-sharing agreement. Not totally on the up and up, but that is his one elimination loss. He only went in the one time in his 6 seasons on the challenge before All-Stars. That's like an insane stat. That's crazy. He just does not go into eliminations. No one wants to go against Mark. The time he went into, that was at the Final 4 as well, where it's kind of hard to dodge elimination there. So political game through the roof, off the charts.
Top notch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well he's going to do in like a final against some of these guys if he doesn't get rid of them. That's another thing. I'd say the big flaw in his game. I don't know if he's that type of player either to like really go out of his way to target people in that way. That's why I make the distinction good social game. I don't know about the strategic game necessarily. Not that he doesn't know what to do, but I just don't think he has it in him really. It's just not that kind of guy. So, if he gets to the end with some of these studs in finals, I don't love his chances.
Yeah, last time he was on, he went to the end with Yes. He went to the end with Darrell. Derek didn't make it too far, but that's another big threat we haven't seen in the rankings yet. I do also have a hard time seeing him winning a final with all those other people in it. But I don't think it's completely out of the question either. He performed well. I think he was a 3rd finisher in the marathon part of the challenge, the final part of the final in All-Stars 1. He's still got a lot of gas. And look at that finals, 71% of the time he plays, he makes the final. That's first by a lot. That's no one else's. Actually, someone else is kind of close, but it's still first. We'll get to that person in a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't hate it if you ranked Mark in the top 3. I don't think.
Yeah, it's just really the finals thing where I think he might fall out of the top.
And look at that dailies per season, Joseph. Oh my God, 5.3 dailies per season.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, wow. Crazy. Now that's a stat worth keeping track of. Am I right?
Moving on.
Number 5 on the women's side, it is going to be Sylvia. Coming in hot at number 5. I know. Look at that elimination win percentage. Big reason why she's ranked that high. Stats do lie.
Yeah, wow.
As they say.
And she is good at eliminations. And she's very underrated. Very one of those people who I think people always underestimate, but always does better than they think. A lot of people think that her and Joss were the actual winners of Final Reckoning, and that they just wanted Ashley and Hunter to win because they knew they wouldn't split the money with each other, or that Ashley wouldn't rather. So Sylvia's a good competitor. I think she's much smarter than most of the girls who do these shows. She's physically competent, especially in the sense of if she has to do a physical 1v1 with these girls, she's got an edge on a lot of them. I think she actually has a really good chance this season, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. I feel pretty much the same way. Don't have a lot to add on that. Her elimination record, 5-1. It's
personality-wise, I don't like her that much. Like as a character on the show, that's one of those where I'm like, oh man, it kind of pains me to admit how good she is. But I feel like she's a lot better than you would think.
Personality, is that just she doesn't bring enough entertainment to the shows?
No, I think she brings it from that perspective. I just think she seems whiny, and I don't know.
Oh, well, harsh.
I'm just never feeling her.
Joseph's opinions only reflect his own, not Hello Reality's opinions as a collective group. I, for one, forget Sylvia completely, so I have no negative.
Yeah, he has no opinion. He'd have the same if he were to. But anyway, but she's good at this show. She's gonna be good on this season, and moving on.
All right. Next up, we're getting down to the last few. Also, Unicarnival, yes.
The nitty gritty, as Nelson would call it. The nitty gritty. I'm sorry.
In sport, well, your comment's way too long. Please try to keep it a little bit shorter next time. You're going off the screen. But yes, in sports, sometimes you play against the other team and the refs. In reality TV, you sometimes play against the writers as well as other competitors. Don't we know it? Some shows more than others is all I will say about that. And it's not the most fun watching sometimes. Next up, this is someone I'm really excited to talk about. Really, I think one of the more unique players that we'll see. It is going to be.
Oh.
Yes, Duffy.
Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. I think this is maybe even too high, but he's just so good at finals that it's hard to say. Or at least he killed the last one that he did. I think nothing's changed really. I think the only males here is Jordan really. He could say is definitely going to give him a run for his money. Not to say guys like Darrell or Derek couldn't, but I think he's also going to be someone though who might get targeted though. But who knows? Because we got Wes, we got Jordan. These guys, I feel like, are going to be the first ones to get chopped down if that's the case. So who knows? He could slide right through. We know he's not going to be double dealing with people. He's going to be playing a pretty chill game. So if people just forget about him again.
Chill would be an understatement, I think. He is the most chill, the most zen, and probably one of the most likable players to ever play the challenge. As evidenced by
Great person. Seems like a great person.
He seems like a great person. He seems like the coolest guy ever. He's everything I want to be and am not. And look at that elimination win percentage. Not applicable because he's never gone into one. That's where you get that number from. He's just
and still didn't go into one last season, which I thought was very impressive. His whole speech and everything like that he gave that actually worked was gnarly.
He's probably the smartest guy there.
He's a great player. Yes is a great player. I think he has all the things you want. He's obviously not super cutthroat or anything, but I don't think the challenge is like Survivor and those other shows. I don't think you need to have that as much. So I think this is pretty fair ranking, actually.
I do too. That's a one knock against him, right? Like, probably doesn't have that killer instinct. He's not like a manipulative player. He tried to go into the All-Stars 1 season simply with the mission of making everyone his friend and being nice to people, helping them out when he could. Turns out, even if that's not the game that Wes, for instance, would ever play, I think that's probably a more effective way to play this game. We saw phenomenal results. No one targeted Yes at all. Maybe they will now that it's kind of more of a known quantity how good he is in a final and how not targeted he is all the time. But I don't know. I think he could probably just do the same thing again. And if he gets the right elimination, I could see him winning those two, although that is kind of like a complete unknown quantity at this point.
For sure. But I do think that unless it's like brute strength, he's going to be good at a lot of them because he just seems to be good at like that weird like coordination type of stuff that sometimes you have to be good at in these eliminations. So
4 seasons, 2 finals, 2 wins in those finals, including the individual win. We won out of all the 10 people who made the final, or 12 was it even? I don't think it was 12. Last All-Stars 1. Really scary. You do not want to go against this guy and his walking sticks in a final.
Yeah, no. Very scary. So yeah, that's yes.
All right. Next up, this is someone I am going to need help with, Joseph.
Okay.
4th ranked woman.
I might too.
By my metrics that I made and regret making is Cynthia. Joseph, yes. Who is Cynthia? Please help.
Cynthia was on Real World Miami, which is the 5th season of the Real World. And I'd say she was probably the most likable person on that season. She was really cool and fun. That's the season Dan Renzi came off of. And she is probably most famous for being on the first ever season of the challenge, which I don't even believe was called the challenge. I think, or it might have been, but it was the first iteration of it with Sean Duffy and Rachel Campos, and she was on that team, and they won. And I think I don't know the season she did after that, but yeah, it hasn't done one since. It's cool to see her again. Yep. Like I said, super likable, super fun character. Surprised they dug that deep for it, but I'm for it. She's awesome.
I love it. I love it when they pull someone out of nowhere to bring back on the show and give them another shot. It's cool. I like seeing that story. It's almost like you can't go wrong. It's like, it's just how they're going to do it. We have no idea. We haven't seen them in forever. Yes was one of those people, right? He competed in like only the earliest seasons back in the day, and he was a great character, great player on All Stars 1. So we'll see if Cynthia can live up to the high bar that Yes has put for his like real OG fellow players.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're going to do because, you know, we saw last season people like Stephen Minke got targeted because nobody really knew them or him, and he hadn't been on the show in a while. Is that going to be a thing with her as well? That seems to be like the go-to for a lot of these people. So I do worry about it from that aspect. But if she's somebody like Ayana, where she can win a couple eliminations, win a daily or two, and have people, you know, be more weary of sending them in, then that, you know, that could definitely happen. She seems like, size-wise, she's bigger than some of the women there. So 1v1 eliminations, she might be pretty good. So who knows?
Yeah, these stats I feel like are as close and meaningless as you could possibly get. It's a different show 20 years ago. If not more than 20 years ago. 4th rank, completely random, means nothing. Well, we're just going to have to see how she does on the season.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say about Cynthia, but I'm excited to see her, especially with your little your seal of approval, right? You said she was pretty cool back in the day. Good enough for me. Excited.
A ray of sunshine.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, she's just going to yes it up. She's going to be yes and just smile her way to the end and crush the final. Maybe that's what happened.
I can see that. I can see her charming her way through it.
All right. Now, we're down to the top 3. We're finally getting there.
Oh, my God.
Number 3rd ranked player. Again, according to these infallible, always correct, irrefutable, inarguable stats. Joseph?
Oh man, for that the silhouette of the hair alone, I knew. It's Derek. Oh my god.
That's right.
You
Derek
know,
at number 3.
I feel like people have given Derek a lot of grief these recent seasons because he has obviously.
Joseph. We're the people
us being those people. But you know, I'm always happy to see Derek overall. He's a nice dude and one all-time great competitor, especially in the eliminations. He has some all-time great performances. A win against Joss in the Vendettas, a very hard-fought loss against Wes in the duel, a legendary elimination. Mm-hmm. He's great at everything, pretty much. I think there's obviously not rowing. And if something random like that comes up again in a final situation. Also, too, I don't like
practice since then. Yeah.
Right. Also, I don't like him trying to be the strategist like we've been seeing lately. Stick to your game. That's not your game. You know what I mean? That was never your game. So just stick to what you know.
What did he call himself last season? Master of human chess, grandmaster of human chess, something like that. Yeah. Oh my God, there's never been as forced of a personality as Derek in All-Star seasons of the challenge. Derek, okay, actually, this is the perfect time to pull up a comments again. Unicarnival says, yeah, I need to know the tea on who you love, who you hate, and who you love to hate. Hate is not the right word in this case.
We like
Joseph.
Derek.
Joseph's more of the hater out of the two of us.
Stop it.
But I definitely do not hate Derek. I do think that his persona that he's brought to the All-Star seasons is, like Joseph, you already said, it's just kind of laughable. He's not a master of human chess. That's not a thing. No one says that. If someone says they're a master of human chess, you know instantly that they are not a master of human chess, or probably chess or humans, or any of those things.
Back on his original seasons, he was the quiet guy who got by on being the underdog or being good at eliminations and just the pure physical game. And now I feel like he's reading the commentary and he knows that people think he's boring or was boring. So now he's trying to spice it up by being the strategic mastermind. But that's not working either. So I don't really know what he does. I think just go back to being yourself.
I think so too. I think that what you need is a little bit of self-awareness and he needs to know that he's not this puppeteer. In fact, no one is in these seasons. I don't think it's so hard to be that person. Leave that to Wes. That's his job. Even he fails at his job probably half the seasons that he's on and looks like a complete idiot on his way out the door.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to pull off.
Derek is so good at so many things. He's ranked number 3 for a reason. I mean, look at these stats. He makes the finals half of the seasons that he's been on, and he's been on a lot of seasons. He's been on 10 of them.
He's another all-time great social player, I think, as well.
Yeah, that's his game. He should play a more Yes Duffy style of game.
Yeah.
He should focus on having fun, making people like him, being a good, loyal ally. And I think he's going to do a lot better that way than trying to pull all the strings like he has done in the last season, especially. Elimination win percentage is really good. He's the 3rd best elimination win percentage of anyone in this cast at 64%. Dailies per season, as someone who's stretched through some of the more modern seasons, he wins 4.3 dailies per season. That's also 3rd best in the cast, and he's won 3 seasons overall. That's the 2nd most wins, tied with someone else. You have no idea who he is, who's coming up next, I'm sure. Basically what I'm saying is the stats are really good. We all know this. I think he's still a favorite coming in. If he can just figure out how to row, he'll be in good shape going into any final.
I agree.
That was a diatribe about Derek. I really didn't know I had so much to say about Derek and his chances.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I'm really hopeful. I hope that he comes in with a different personality, he's more chill, and we see more of the old school Derek, and he has fun with that. Because I think he'd have a lot more fun that way than what he's been doing on the last couple seasons. But
yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath. But moving on.
Okay, number 3, we got a Legends. It's time finally to bring in your prediction for the winner. She's not ranked number 1. She's ranked number 3. It's Veronica. Take it away.
Yeah. She used to be the queen bee of the show. Like I was saying before, she used to run the roost. and then I think she came back, and maybe her stats got worse because of that. But I wouldn't hold that against her too much because, you know, those were seasons where she was just going to be out of her element with the casting and stuff like that. You know, obviously she's not like physically going to be one of the greatest players. That's never really been her strength. I think if she plays her strategy the way she plays it and she gets to the end, she'll have a good chance because the way she plays, she'll get to the end with people who she can beat. So, but people are also aware of her game. So I don't know. I could see it going either way.
Okay. Veronica is someone who I don't overlap with at all. I haven't seen her older seasons. She's like an unknown quantity to me. All I have to do is go on the words of you and other people who sing her praises as like you said, Queen Bee. I know she's won 3 times. That's the most out of anyone, out of any of the other women in the season. She's got the experience. Can she do it again? Is what we all want to know. I'm excited. I think All-Star season is like an actual chance for her to win. Don't think she had much of a chance on the main challenge. But I don't know. There's a lot of people who look like they'd be really good in a final. Is she coming in as someone who can like legitimately win a final, Joseph?
I think a lot of things have to go her way. I think, like I said before, she has to get rid of some people. It could happen, but I think she has to get the right orientation of people.
Okay. Well, those stats are good. Those stats coming in are good. Again, because that's all that matters. Stats tell the full story and nothing else. Most wins, 4th highest win percentage, 4th highest finals percentage, 3rd highest dailies per seasons, elimination win percentage right in the middle of the pack at 50%. Can she win? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited to see her back. Probably the biggest like name on the cast, right? Like, is she that big of a name?
I think she's a big name.
Like an OG name.
I will say it's been a little sullied by the fact that she did come back somewhat recently, but still OG.
Okay. All right. We're down to the final 2. I'm excited to talk about these next 2. It's Darrell and Jordan are left on the guys' side. Who do you think is number 1, and who do you think is number 2?
Darrell's number 2, and Jordan's number 1.
Well, are you right? We'll have to find out. Yeah, you're right.
I think Darrell, once again, he's a victim of doing a lot of seasons, and some of the later ones are harder than the earlier ones, obviously. I think he's gotten unlucky in a lot of senses these past couple of seasons with not winning. He let off the gas a little bit with Yes, so that's on him. And maybe Yes was just better than him too. Last season kind of got screwed along with Nehemiah and Melinda with that whole final. But he's had some really impressive. Darrell's a great player, and he can win any season he's on. He's always going to be, I think, in contention to win, always. Like, he's going to be like a top 3 male. Like, he doesn't not make the end most times too. Like, he almost always gets to the end at least.
Yeah, he does. Over half the time that he plays the challenge, he gets to the final. 55% of the time. I'm going to pause on the next go around. He got off to an insane start. He was 4-0 in finals to start his career. Came back down to earth a little bit, but not in like such a bad way. It was more like he kept like just barely missing the final a couple times, or he would get to the final, and he's gotten second, I think, in both in the All-Star seasons, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. The second one, right? Both of them? I forget.
Yeah.
It's all a blur.
Both of them.
Yep. He's so close. He could have 6 wins. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. Very, very close. But a couple things got in his way, namely Yes in the production team, and he still only has 4. It feels like it'd be right for him to win another season, especially an All-Star season. Like, I feel like it would almost be wrong if Darrell never won an All-Star season.
I feel like it would be wrong if he retires without winning one more time. I feel like that would feel wrong.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think so too. Any other thoughts? I mean, elimination win percentage is really good too. He's super scary in elimination win percentage.
Oh yeah. I think especially too, if you're like thinking like, oh man, if he goes against MJ or someone like that, he would lose. I would not think that. Like, I would still bet on Darrell, honestly.
I'd bet on Darrell on almost anything. Yeah, I don't know who's saying that. Not me. That's for sure.
Well, I think if people probably looked at them and they didn't know any better, they're not as familiar with them. I think if they just looked at them side by side, though, MJ's huge, right? But
sure,
Darrell
but he's Darrell.
Yeah, but Darrell, he's beaten Zach in the elimination, the pole wrestle, which was super impressive. I think one of his more impressive moments in his career.
Yeah,
beating someone who's got like 30, 40 pounds on him. So in a brutally physical elimination. So yeah, Darrell is one of the best challengers of all time, probably top 3, top 5. So top 2 on here seems very appropriate.
Yeah, there's never any doubt he was going to be in the top 2, right? I mean, if you're watching us the stream or after the fact on YouTube, that is his picture that you mentioned, him dominating Zach in pole wrestle. That's insane. Yeah. And if you look at all the green next to his numbers, most wins, 5th highest win percentage, 3rd highest finals percentage, 5th highest dailies per season, 3rd highest elimination win percentage. He's just really good at every aspect of the game. Not to mention he's very laid back, good socially. He's friendly with pretty much everybody except that one time with Brad. So we'll talk about winner picks, I guess. But like, I mean, definitely top 2 by a mile. Now, though, it is time.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go.
No, you go.
Okay, I go. It's time for the 2nd highest rated women. We're down to 2. There's 2 left. Kendall and Ronnie. Who's it going to be? It's let's cut back. Who do you think it is, Joseph? Real quick.
I think it's Ronnie.
Something's gone wrong. Yeah. Do you think so? That's
Yeah, I really truly believe
Tell me why. Yeah, I'm so curious why.
You know, I'm just gonna say right now that this is the person I know the least about. Sorry guys, I did not watch the Road Rules back in the Disney. I watched a couple seasons, but not to where I have an encyclopedic memory about it like I do most of these things. So we're not gonna have a lot to say about her, unfortunately.
So, great prediction as usual. Okay, now fix whatever might have been the problem. No, it's Kendall instead. Really good guess though. Really good guess. Ronnie's in fact going to be the #1 rated player. As further proof that my stats are really smart and make a lot of sense. Kendall, unfortunately, only going to finish in the top 2. And of course, the video is not looping, so I'm going to go fix that. I think Kendall she's insanely good, right? Like, how does she not get to the finals in either of the last 2 seasons? I know one of the reasons.
You know, if I guess production doesn't like her. I don't know. She is the bridesmaid at this point. You know, and we need to see her become the bride. And I think that she's been knocking on that door for so long that this has to be her time. But also, she's like clearly probably the #1 target.
Why do you say that?
I mean, just looking at like, what have you done for me lately? It seems like, you know, on the Challenge All-Star, she's been, you know, just killing it.
She has, yeah. I mean, she's doing awesome in eliminations for the most part, but like she hasn't been that dominant either. I don't think she's won more than she's lost. I feel like there's still a lot of people in this cast who you might look at as being just as big of threats as her. For some reason, she never really seems like she's in the numbers politically, though. That would be my fear as to why she might not win.
Yeah, I agree. And she seems to be like paranoid and stuff like that too in strategy. Like I know other people have kind of gotten on to her about that. So
yeah, maybe. Really, really good athletically though. If she makes a final, besides Kellyanne, probably my winner pick, 1A, 1B, I think, in terms of crushing a final. She's 3-1 in eliminations. She wins a ton of dailies when she plays. All of her stats are in the top 5. 4 out of the 5 are in the top 3. Kendall's really good, I think. And if she can just dodge the eliminations that she needs to get to the final, I think this is a deserved spot. Which brings me to the #1 ranked guy going into the season. Finally, a ranking that I've created that makes sense, Joseph. It is obviously going to be Jordan. It almost seems unfair. It's like a MLB player going to play like Pee-wee, like a T-ball against a bunch of kids in a parking lot at this point. How does Jordan lose, Joseph?
If people, know, which they do, that he's a huge threat, and they send him in to elimination over and over again, and, just hope that he loses eventually against the right person. We've never really seen Jordan. He's kind of got lucky in the sense that we've never really seen him in a physical elimination except Fessy that one time. So that's, I think, obviously his Achilles heel on this show. But even then, he's a lot younger than some of these dudes who are even bigger than him. So who's to say that necessarily he would lose? I don't know. It just depends. Obviously, the hand thing is going to hurt in challenges like that where you have to grab onto something or whatever. But, depending on what it is, he could even still thrive in those eliminations. So his personality is always his undoing as well. He's probably actually one of the worst social players on this whole list, but he's just so good at the physical stuff that it supersedes everything else. So I'm going to step out real quick. So talk to the audience about Jordan.
Okay, you got it. They won't even know if they're listening to this podcast that you're gone. Jordan, I'm just going to run through his stats. I think that says it all. Wins, 3, tied for second. Win percentage, 50%. He wins half of the seasons that he plays. That's tied for first. That's obviously good. Finals, he makes them in 2 out of 3 seasons that he plays. That's actually only the second highest behind Mark Long, like I mentioned earlier. Insane still. And he wins 3.5 dailies per season. I, again, don't know why I included this stat in the first place. Lastly, his elimination win percentage, if you've forgotten, is 78%. He wins almost 4 out of 5 eliminations that he's in, including the one I chose to feature here with the sledgehammer against Zach. What the hell? He also won the pull the rope challenge against Josh. I know it's against Josh, but it's still absolutely insane that Jordan,
did you know it was against Josh, though?
Can win a challenge like that. What did you say?
It was against Josh, though. No, I was just repeating what you had already said.
Yeah. I know that almost like completely nullifies the accomplishments. I know it's Josh. He's not the most coordinated guy ever, but Joseph, he has one hand. It's insane what Jordan is able to do in the challenge. So he's probably still in his prime. Love to see him compete in here. I think they're gonna have to do what you said. I think they're gonna have to throw him in every single elimination and hope that one sticks, or else like he's just gonna walk away with this. No,
and I think it's gonna be great TV. I actually, when I first saw that he got cast, I think we were like, oh man, this sucks because it's just gonna be a wash. But it could be interesting because of that aspect, and also because Jordan just always brings drama. Like wherever he goes, he's always gonna start drama. So he's gonna be good TV.
And he's single now. Him and Tori broke up, so he's coming in as a single guy. Who knows where that's going to go? If you care about that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him too for the same reasons. If he dominates the cast like no one ever has before, I mean, hey, that's kind of new. That's cool. I haven't seen that in a while, and it'll be kind of fun to watch. Everyone just like fall down like bowling pins in front of the bowling ball that is Jordan in eliminations. So interesting casting choice. We're really blurring the lines between the main challenge and All-Stars. Like the first season of All-Stars felt like pretty much all OGs coming back after a long hiatus. And now it's like half and half almost. Wouldn't you say?
We're getting Kayla, we're getting Sylvia, we're getting these people who were on semi-recently, so I would agree.
Yeah, semi-recently. I mean, Wes too, he's still been on recent challenges. He does fit like the mold age-wise. He is like pretty close to an OG. He started in season 12, I want to say.
Yeah, I still feel like he's such a part of the main show that it is.
But yeah, exactly.
It makes me wonder too, is like Wes going to keep doing the main show? Probably not. I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know. Let's close things out though. We got one more person to rank, and by the process of elimination, it is going to be Ronnie.
The greatest challenge player of all time.
The number 1 ranked threat going into the season. We all knew this was coming, of course. We looked at the cast and we said, Ronnie, number 1 threat. I could be not joking, actually. I have no idea. I don't really know the first thing about her. She could be this big of a threat. All I know is stats don't lie, Joseph. Stats don't lie. She is the number 1 threat. Tell me otherwise.
She looks very fit in those pictures. As I said before, don't know too much about her. So I'm just going to go off the raw stats that she is the number 1 female challenge competitor of all time.
Okay, 2 seasons, 2 wins. I mean, right out of the bat, that's like, you can't do any better than that. 2 for 2. Let's pause it here. Win percentage, obviously 100%. Finals percentage, also obviously 100%. Quit while you're on top, right, Joseph? Dailies per season. This is interesting. I have no idea how she got any of these wins. She's only been on 2 seasons, but she wins 6 dailies per season. Were there even like 6 episodes per season these days? We have like 10 episodes per season now. She's winning 6 dailies on each of her seasons, 12 total. Here's the thing, though. Never saw an elimination. NA, not applicable elimination win percentage.
Great social game.
It. How will she do in eliminations? Well, the last time she did one was never, so we really don't know.
She's going to do great.
Do you know anything about her, Joseph?
No.
You have one job. I put all these graphics together. I host a live stream. All you have to do is know the challenge history, and you can't tell me one thing about Ronnie.
She was on Road Rules.
All right, that's actually fine. I don't care. We'll just we'll learn about Ronnie when the season starts. Wild card ?
We'll start new. Blank slate.
That's right. All I know is I'm following the numbers and drafting her first overall by a mile.
Yes.
Here's a comment going back a second. I feel like you have to be permanently retired from the main challenge to be on All Stars. Wouldn't that be interesting if that's how it worked? Kind of like the Hall of Fames in sports. We have to be retired plus 5 years to get into the Hall of Fame. Should they do a similar rule like that? Even though we know obviously they're never going to do that, because why would they?
Why not? I don't like it. I get what they're saying in the sense that we don't want too much like crossover. Because that's the cool thing about All Stars, is that it is more nostalgic. Jordan and Kayla, maybe not that nostalgic, but I also understand it from their perspective, where Jordan and Kayla probably get people to watch the show. So
there is that. Some of the biggest names coming back to these seasons, especially this one, are players who have been on recent seasons proper. They're not going to do this, of course, but I think it would be cooler. I kind of agree. I think it would be cooler to have some kind of limitation to make it purely an OG thing. Also, it would make it look more of an even playing field, it feels like. But at the same time, maybe that would wear out. Maybe that would run its course without too much time passing by. I don't know.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? No. Okay.
I already said my piece on it.
Okay. All right. Let's move on then. So, if you have any other questions now, get them in quick. Otherwise, I think we're about ready to wrap this up. We've been talking about this cast for a long time, and I regret the amount of time I put into these little videos more than ever, Joseph. But I still had a lot of fun.
Hey, we all enjoyed looking at it, right, guys?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Guys, don't all comment at once. Please slow down. I can't. It's scrolling way too fast.
I'm excited for this season, though, Eric. I'm excited for this season. It's a good cast. I think there's going to be drama, I believe. So I think it's going to be the best season of All Stars yet.
I think so too. I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it's a really interesting cast. We got a big mix of players. It's probably the most competitive looking cast. Can they be fun? Can they be entertaining and bring the drama and bring back that old school vibe though? TBD. That's what I'd like to see the most. And that's what I like most about All Stars 1 was the first couple episodes. It just felt so fun. The music, everything was great. I still think they do a good enough job with that. I am a little worried that with so many like super competitive newer players like coming who have recently done the main challenge, is it going to kind of dilute what made the original concept of All-Stars what it was in the first place? I don't know. I still think it's going to be an awesome season. I hope the finals makes sense at all this time around. That's my other big fear.
Making sense is cool.
It would be cool if the final made sense, right? It'd be cool if it felt like things mattered in the final, that there were rules that they knew ahead of time, you know? Name something that MTV loves doing more than taking an entire day's work and making it worth nothing and ignoring that fact completely in the broadcast episode. Name one thing. Don't think you can. Yep, like I said, you can't.
I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it. Because it doesn't exist.
Couldn't do it.
Because there isn't a thing that's like that.
That's it. But it'll be better this year.
Okay. I think we should save. We've been talking long enough. I think we should save.
Let's go away.
Any kind of draft or winner's pick or whatever for our first episode, which, by the way, will be Thursdays live again at 6. And speaking of being live, this has been a lot of fun. It's also been a lot of stress and obviously making a lot of mistakes as we go. So I just want to say, if you've been watching this, thanks for bearing with us. If you're a podcast listener and you miss it, and you're wondering why all these errors abound, well, it's because we started streaming on YouTube. And for the rest of the season, we are going to be, wait for it, consistent. We're going to be consistent for the first time ever. We're going to be live every Thursday at 6 p.m.
Oh my God.
Reality. There might not be links up yet. I'm gonna work on getting links up so you can find everything more easily soon. But just look us up on YouTube if you want to see our faces and get comments in and chat with us, because that's my vision. That's my hope for this. I want to have fun with this. We're two video producers who, have too much time on our hands, especially me these days. So I want to learn how to stream. I want to get comments from people. I want to hear what everyone has to say and make this whole process more interactive, because we already know that we love to talk, and we would talk on each other to the phone. Let me try that again. We talked to each other on the phone for 8 years without ever meeting in person, dude. We know we love to talk about this, but I'm excited to hopefully bring more people in and make this a more interactive experience. So I wanted to let you all know that that's out. Subscribe, please, if you're still listening to this on YouTube or to the podcast, wherever you're getting our stupid little show. Go ahead and subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. We would really appreciate it. Anything else, Joseph, that I missed?
Do all that stuff Eric just said.
Thank you. Great. Good. Thanks, Joseph, for that. Any final words about the season itself before we sign off?
It's going to be good. It premieres tomorrow on Paramount Plus, so you guys should tune in and wait till midnight or like 12:15 when they post it. I forget when they post it exactly, but wait till up to that time. You know what I mean? Just wait for it, like Santa on Christmas.
Are you telling people to stay up late and then watch it like the minute it drops?
Yes, like I do. Like, yeah.
You don't actually do that, do you? You don't actually do that, right?
I've done that before. I don't do that every time, but I have done that before.
Have you? Okay, wow.
I don't reload like every time. Like, I'll wait like a couple minutes and I'll reload. We don't have to get into it. We don't have to talk about it. I
love it.
It was nice seeing you guys live, and take it easy.
Yeah, and guess what, Joseph? I was worried that maybe we didn't do so good, that maybe I made a mistake or two in doing this live stream, but it turns out we did great. Look at that. Thanks,
Wow.
It's me, Vandy, for saying so. Appreciate it from a veteran streamer. It means a lot. Thanks.
It's not Eric's mom.
It's not my mom. No, it's only a friend. Look at that. Okay, let's call it a day. Next step on my agenda, by the way, get some music. We need some music. And you make music videos, Joseph. So like, if you have any ideas, let me know. Maybe we should talk about this off the podcast. But that's my plan for the future of this stream. Wow, you were ready with that. You just got that harmonica lying around?
I mean, you know me.
Apparently. Can you
I
record?
I just hang out on trains.
You fit that vibe for sure. Can you just make the music intro?
Let's talk about this off air.